Hey honey bunnies, welcome back to my channel. This is your girl Zoleka Ndlovu and I'm here again for a new video. And firstly, before we even begin, right, I would like to say thank you so much for everyone that subscribed, and for my loyal subscribers, thank you so much for being loyal. You know, like, it means a lot. Thank you so much again for your patience. It's highly appreciated, you know. So today's video is my story. Basically, I will be talking about my experience that I've had. I'm sure you'll see by the title, it says my story. Basically, this video is it's about me dating a taxi driver. Yes. So I'll be just telling y'all like what I've been through and what I've learned. And basically this video, obviously it will need you to be 18 years old and above. So yes, please do make sure that you are 18 years old and above for this video, okay? And with this video, I'm basically not advising you to go out there and date a taxi driver. I mean, it's all totally up to you. I'm not promoting it. Like, it's up to you basically. So yeah, so let's begin with the video. I just need to grab my wine and then we can begin the story. Okay, got my wine. Let's have a sip and then we can begin. Okay, that's nice. Okay, so this began when I was still in college. Yeah, so I used to travel by taxi. So there, you know, by the rank, right? There are these women that sell stuffs like sweets, chips, cool drinks, cigarettes, you name it. They sell everything that you can imagine. So there was this one woman, right, that I was very much close to, because like we used to have a conversation. Like, I'm that type of a person that if I see you every day or whatever, I greet you, we talk, you know, that's just me. So anyway, one good day, I was coming from school, and she's like, "Oh, hey, Ndombi, how are you?" I'm like, "I'm fine." She's like, "Oh, someone came here looking for you." I'm like, hold up. She's like, "Yeah, one guy." I'm like, "A guy? Who's that?" Then she tells me his name. Obviously, I'm not gonna say his name. Ooh, I will not say his name. Hell no. So, I'm like, I don't know who's that. She's like, no, he said that he saw you yesterday. You were walking and he was just driving past and he saw you. He couldn't stop because there was like cars behind him. And I'm thinking, like, for me, like at that time, I didn't know whether he's a taxi driver. He's driving past. I'm like, oh, this guy has a car. Okay, that's good. I'm happy. So then I'm like, I go, can you please describe this guy? That woman, she sold that guy to me. She's like, oh, he's tall. I'm like, okay. She's like, no, he has like a body, and then he's not dark, he's not fair, he's just Jay, you know. I'm like, okay. So when you looked at him, was he like someone you date? You know, like, she's like, yeah, I date him. I'm like, okay. So again, I'm asking her this like a similar question. I'm like, okay, when you looked at him, did you see a guy that I date? She's like, yeah, 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 yeah. He's a nice guy. I'm like, I'm like, where do you know this guy? And I'm like, she's like, no, I just could see that. No, he's a nice, decent person. So he said, the next time I see you, I should give you this number and you should give him a call. Child, didn't I call him the moment I entered the taxi? I'm like, I'm dialing this number. Okay. Ring, ring, ring. I'm like, hello? He's like, how are you? I'm like, I'm good. Then I have to explain myself. Aibo Mugai. I'm like, okay, this is so and so. I got your number from the so and so. What's your story? He's like, oh my gosh, it's you. So now he's explaining in Zulu. Oh, wait, nah, being I didn't think that you'd call. I'm like, nah, no, I wasn't gonna call, but then I'm like, let me just hear you out, you know? Then he's like, no, I saw you yesterday and I couldn't stop. Oh, you look so beautiful, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, beautiful, thank you. Thank you very much. Wow, okay. And then he's like, oh, okay, and then what did he say? He said, what did he say? And okay, before I get to what he said, his voice, I was blushing in that taxi. I was blushing. You know when I say blushing? I was blushing. I was like, oh my God, this guy. Oh God, his voice. I won't mind hearing it every morning. Hey. So, so he's like, can I see you today? I'm like, what? Today? I'm not ready. He's like, no, I can come and see you. Like, I can drive there. I'm like, okay, so this guy has a car. Hey. And then I'm like, okay, because I didn't want to be that person. I'd be like, oh no. I was like, okay, fine, cool. No problem. He's like, oh, you have to tell me where you stay. And I told him. Then he said, give me your address, like the street name, number, whatever. I gave it to him. Now, then I'm thinking, this guy, hey, bro, how will he find me? Because the area that I live in, it's very huge. You can easily get lost because it's just huge. And then hey, I went home. I'm happy now. Hey, this guy's gonna come see me. This guy. And I heard that he's hot. I'm like, God damn, I need to be prepared. And then I got home. I couldn't even eat. You know, and I'm excited. I can't eat. Oh, got home. My mother is looking at me. I'm like, she's like, oh, what's in Johnny? I'm like, eh, get right. You know, I'm just like, I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. And then my mother left for work. And then I decided, let me just freshen up because I was at school and it was hot. And I freshened up. I had a bath and I, became the girl. I was like, Untombo. Like, I was, yay. And then I was like, okay, let me just look good. Hey, time came. Mukai phoned. Ring, ring. I'm like, okay, hello. He's like, yeah, it's me. I'm on my way. Okay. My heart at that time. And then a few minutes later, he's like, I'm outside. Okay. Hi. And I'm walking out. I'm locking the door. Thinking that I'll see a car. Let me tell you, the road that I used to live in that area is the quietest road. It's not on the main road, it's on the inside. You know those inside roads that are that are just quiet. The only people that you see there is the people that stay there. Hey, and then I'm walking out. Hey, I'm saying, hey, bro, there is no car, but there's a taxi. Taxi driver. I was like, yeah, this is not gonna work. But anyway, he saw that that's me, so he came out of the taxi and then he came and hugged me. I'm like, oh, the hug. Okay, 5 points. Hey, and then he's like, no, can we please sit inside? Okay. Then he opened the door. He was a gentleman, shame I wouldn't lie. He opened the door and then we were sitting there. Went and sat at the back seat. Woo! We sat at the back seat, guys, and then he locked the door and we sat there. It was what was the time? If I'm not mistaken, it was about seven, half past seven. And at that time it was a bit dark. So yeah. So anyway, so now we're sitting there. Hey, and it's so hot in this taxi. I'm like, oh, Miguel, I'm perspiring, I'm sweating. Oh, I'm like, I can't keep up. He's busy talking and he's explaining himself that, oh, okay, my name is this, that, I live there and there, and I'm a taxi driver. I'm like, okay, taxi driver. I know the story about taxi drivers and I don't want to get involved. Okay. And he tells me, which, okay, he has another person in his life. So they have two kids. Now, I'm like, okay, so you have someone. Why would you want to be with me? I'm like, you have a family, basically. You are a family man. So why would you want to be with me, And then he's like, no, I just you what I was taken. I was just taken. No, when I saw you, I couldn't think. I just wanted to be with you, blah blah. I'm like, wow, okay. Hey, and then he's talking. Hey, yeah, this guy is touching me. I'm like, okay. I'm like, oh, this guy is very quick. Oh my gosh. And then, hey, guy, he kisses me. I'm like, "Yo." I was sweating. I was gone. I was gone. You know. I'm like, oh, I need to breathe. He was like, are you okay? I'm like, I'm fine. Gosh. And then it's like, can we please go to my place? I'm like, pause. Hold up. I'm not going to your house. You just told me that you have a woman. What if she comes there and then I'm there? Plus, we just met, so I can't be that girl. And then he's like, no, she won't come. She doesn't stay with me. So when she comes, she has to tell me first. I was like, nah, no. I was like, nah, give me zero. Give me not. I was like, no. We'll see as time goes by. He's like, okay. But yeah, at that time, I'm gone. After the kiss, we were dating, we were girlfriend and boyfriend. I mean, I didn't care. So and then we sat there and we talked. And then after that, I was like, no, my guy, I need to go home. I can't be sitting in this taxi for so long, And then he's like, okay, when will I see you again? I'm like, anytime, you tell me. He's like, okay, I'll see you soon. The moment I got inside the house, he phoned me. We talked until he reached his house. And then the next day, I went to school and I was telling my friends, hey, I met this dude. Blah, blah, blah. Then they're like, hey, girl, you don't waste time. First day meeting him, kissing him. I'm like, so what? Do I have to wait for like 10 days for me to kiss a guy? What if it's a bad kisser? I don't want to be stuck with a bad kisser. Hell no. Hell no. Hey. And then he used to phone me every morning during the day and night. If you dated a taxi driver, you would know. They don't run out of airtime. Those men, they don't run out of airtime. They will never run out of airtime. Yeah, anyway, he phones me. He's like, no, I need to see you later. I'm like, okay. Then he's like, yeah, I need you to come to my place. I was like, should I go? Should I stay? And I'm thinking about the kiss. I'm like, that kiss was, it was, So I said, okay, it's fine. Because I knew that my mother wouldn't be home. And then got home, girl, mom went to work, and then I was like, I need to freshen up. And then I freshened up and I just wore my dress and whatnot, and then he came and picked me up around 8 past 8. I'm not sure what time was it. Mind you, I'm going to a place. I didn't bring my money. I only brought my phone and the house keys. Hey, and I'm like, what if this guy doesn't want to bring me home? I just met him yesterday. What if he doesn't bring me home? What am I gonna do? I don't know no one that lives in that area. What the fuck am I gonna do? I Hey, we're driving, then we stopped at the garage. Then he asked me, what do I want? Hey guys, if you dated a taxi driver, you must know you will never run out of junk food, never run out of airtime and money if you dated the right one. Okay. Anyway, I'm like, okay. And you know, the moment you ask me what I want, I go away blank. And then he's asking me, I'm like, hey, okay, I want liquid fruits, the pineapple flavor, I want the simple chips, the creamy cheese, and what else? I need a chocolate. And he bought me. Then he bought that, and then I'm looking at this guy. I'm like, hey, why am I dating this dude? Never got an answer. But the kiss was here. I'm like, hey, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Whew, okay. Then we got to his house. Hey! Let me drink one more time, guys. Then I'll tell all y'all what happened the moment we got there. Okay. So when we got there, he opened the door, obviously. And then we entered the kitchen, and then we went straight to the bedroom. When we went straight to the bedroom, the moment he turned the lights on, the wall was full of pictures of him and his baby mama and the kids. Yeah, he had two kids. And I'm like, what's happening here? Am I gonna sleep here the whole night and look at these pictures? This woman will be haunting me in my dreams. I'm like, okay, let me just keep quiet, because anyway, I'm just a side chick, so whatever. And then he's like, do you want something to eat? After I saw those pictures, I was just full. I was like, my appetite was gone. It was gone. I'm like, no, I'm okay. I just need water. Hi. He gives me water. He's like, you want water, but I bought you your juice. I'm like, nah, maybe later. Hi. And then we sat there, opened the TV, and then he said, do you want to watch something? I'm like, no. Like, my mood was just gone, basically. And he says, okay, I need to go freshen up. Then he goes and takes a shower. And then I'm sitting there, I'm looking at these pictures. I'm like, this woman, okay. And then he comes back. Nah. He comes back, and then he dresses up in front of me. And I'm looking at him. I'm like, child. Whew, okay. And when a guy is naked in front of you for the first time, you just don't know if you have to look or look down or look there or look up. I'm like, oh, child. I'm looking at him, and I'm looking down, and I'm looking down, and I'm looking there, looking up, and I'm like, ooh, okay. And then after that, it's like, no, he wants to sleep. I'm like, okay, cool. And then he prepares the bed and whatnot. Okay. And then we slept. And then he wakes me up. He's like, no, he can't sleep. I'm like, oh, what's wrong now? He's like, no. And then he touches me, whatever. And I'm like, hey, this guy, what is he trying to do now? Yeah, I'm like, hey, this guy, Then he touches me. I'm like, are you serious? He's like, why? I'm like, right now, your baby mama is looking at me in all different angles. Look at her. He's like, oh, Dad, no, it's okay. Just don't mind. Just don't mind that. I'm like, you want to have sex with me, but your baby mama is looking at me in all angles? Are you for real? And then he just talks and he's like, no, please don't worry. I'll just switch off the lights. Switch off the lights. Hey! And then okay, switch off the lights. I was like, okay, let me just not be a drama queen. And then he does his thingy, whatever. I won't even say it, but you know what I mean. Anyway, it was nice, fine, whatever. And then we slept, and then in the morning he wakes up at 3:30, and then he has a bath. Then he wakes me up to have a shower, of course. And then I was dressing up, and then he was a very sweet guy. Sometimes he, he tied up the bed. I was like, oh, thank you. And then he takes me home. Mind you, up until today, I don't know where I was. I know the area, but if you tell me now to take you there, I wouldn't, because I don't know. I don't know the street name. I know the area, but the street name, the house number, dollar. And then it was all nice. Shame, I won't lie. It was nice. He used to give me money whenever I needed the money, And then I'm like, okay. The time went by, dating, and then one good day. Okay. Before I get there, and then he's telling me that, oh, he don't drink. I'm like, a taxi driver that don't drink. Where you from? He's like, no, I don't drink. I used to drink and I stopped. Me, I don't buy the story that you used to drink and you stopped. You used to drink heavily and then you decided to cut down for some odd reason. Maybe it's health issues or no money, or maybe, I don't know, but you just can't just stop. Like, taxi driver, stop drinking. It's very rare to find someone like that. And I'm like, okay, I'm happy. This guy don't drink, but I drink. Like, how's that gonna work? Me, I'm not gonna lie and say I don't drink. I drink, And then he's like, oh yeah. And I'm like, okay, cool. If you don't drink, then I'm happy. And then one good day, he decided that he will pick me up, and he wants to spend time with me. I'm like, okay, cool. I used to, like, honestly speaking, I used to enjoy his company. It was nice. It was nice. I'm not gonna lie and say I did not enjoy my time with him. And then he picked me up. He was with his friends. Ask me how he was that day, then I tell you. He was drunk and he was driving. Hey, let me get more wine, then we can continue. Okay, just refilled my wine. I don't need much, I just need a little bit. Okay, he was drunk, right? And then he's like, I'm outside. I'm like, okay. But his tone was a bit, like, what's going on? This is not my man. He was my man. Oh, no. Before I get there. So the second time I went there, oh my God, I'm so bad with stories. And then the pictures were not there anymore. The second time I was there, the pictures were out. So yeah, just to fast forward, I'm going back to where I was. So he picks me up with his friends. And I get there, this guy is drunk. And his friend is holding a bottle of Smirnoff vodka. I'm like, what's going on? And already when I saw the bottle, I was pissed. I was pissed because one, he lied to me that he don't drink, but now he drinks. That's not cool, you know? And guys, let me tell you this. If your man drinks Smirnoff and then he he ends up being with you, you know what happens. Ne? You know, if your man drinks Smirnoff and then you'll be together same day, same time, you'll know what happens. I'll get to that. And I'm like, hey, this guy here, oh my God, what's happening here? His friends are greeting me, hi, mama. Now I'm a mama now. My name no more. I'm not Zolega anymore. I'm a mama. Hey, mama, how are you? I'm like, no, I'm fine. And I kept quiet. Then he's putting a show now. Hey, mama, how are you? I missed you so much. I'm like, child, look at you. Look at you. Waist looking so drunk like this. And then he's driving. And then we're just passing Guamashu. And then we almost met in a car accident. Guys, I kid you not. I was crying because one, I did not tell my mom where I was going. Number two, what will I say if I get hurt right here, right now in this taxi? Where was I going at that time of the night? Because she left me inside the house and I decided to go gallivanting. And then his friends are shouting at him, hey, where now? Can't you see? And I'm like, and I'm sitting there, I'm keeping quiet. And then we got to where we were going, and then first we had to drop off his friends. There were like 3 of them. I was the only girl in the taxi. Hey, hi. And then we went to the house. That day, he did not open the door for me. I was a bit upset about that because he used to do it every day. Open the door. Now, and then I went to the house. He's so hyped. He's in a good mood, and I'm so upset. I'm like, my guy, you almost hurt us. He's like, no, that was not my fault. I'm like, guy, you're drunk and you're driving. Are you for real? He's like, no, it's not my fault. Blah blah blah. I was like, okay. I kid you not, I was crying because I'm like, this guy does not understand where I was coming from. And then yeah, ne. So a lot happened that night when he was drunk. Guys, if y'all know, if your boyfriend or girlfriend, no, boyfriend, I don't know about girls, but boyfriend, when they drink Smirnoff, they don't get tired. When it comes to, yeah, they don't get tired. They can go for hours and hours. I was crying the whole night. Mind you, I didn't like what he was doing. I wasn't in the mood for it. I cried. And then he didn't see that I was crying. That was the most upsetting part. He didn't see that I was crying, that I didn't want this. And then the moment he stopped, then he said no, he wants to sleep. I said, okay, cool. And I didn't sleep. I was crying. I kid you not. I was crying. And then he woke me up in the middle of the night. They come belly again. Don't get tired. Back to it. I'm like, oh my God, what have I done? What is this? Me, I'm gonna die today. Hey, came morning. I didn't sleep, mind you. And then he had to wake up for work. And then I was like sleeping there, and then I was so angry, and I couldn't even fight. I couldn't even shout at that time because I just wanted him to take me home, you know. So we had a bath, and then he's like, "How was it? You enjoyed it?" I'm like, "Okay, I I just didn't say anything. I had no words, you know." And then he's dressing up, and then we get inside the car, the taxi, sorry. And then he's like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "I'm fine." Then he's like, "You don't look fine." I'm like, "I'm fine," you know. And then when we're about to reach the area that I live in, I'm like, "What happened yesterday?" He's like, "No. What happened? What you mean? Yesterday was nice. Yesterday we had fun." What? I'm like, "What?" He said, "No, we had fun yesterday. Didn't you enjoy?" How? I'm like, "Enjoy? Hey." Mm-mm. I kept quiet. I was waiting for him to drop me off at my house. Anyway, we got to my house, and then I jumped off the taxi. And then the moment I jumped off, and then I came to his side, the driver's side, and I looked at him. Tears rolled down my eyes. Then he's like, "Why are you crying?" I'm like, ever, don't ever come back again here to this house. Don't call me. Don't send me messages. Don't come pick me up. Just don't. I want you to disappear." It's like, "Oh, what happened?" I'm like, "Don't come here again. I don't want to talk to you no more." And it's like, "Oh, what's going on?" I'm like, "You asking me after what you've done yesterday?" My guy, you've got games. And then he's like, "What did I do?" I'm like, I told him to F off. Nah, eh. And then he's like, "You joking, man?" I'm like, "You don't know me. You do not know me." Eh. He went. I got inside the house. I remember that day I didn't even go to school because I was just not okay. And then he calls me. I reject the call. He calls, reject. And then later he phones in, and I answered. I'm like, "Why are you calling me?" It's like, "I need to see." I'm like, "What the Hey, you are not going to see me in your wildest dreams." And then he's like, "Why? What's wrong with you? Why are you acting that way?" I'm like, "You need to think what if you need to remember what you did yesterday, and then you'll come back to me and tell me if what you did was right." Up until today, he doesn't know what he did. And then time went by. He used to call and send threats that, oh, he knows where I stay, he knows where he knows where I study. He'll come, and he'll come there for me, and then he'll take me, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, "You try it." I'm like, you better try it. You'll see a movie. Uh, and then um that was it. Now, and then after that, I had to go, get some help. I went to my doctor, got myself checked out, whatever, whatever, whatever. Uh-huh. I Yeah, so time went by. I decided to just forget about him and stuff. So, honestly speaking, dating a taxi driver, I'm not saying don't, because not all of them are the same. Nah, but as for me, I will not date a taxi driver again. Me, personally. Because of what happened to me, I will never, never. So, like, I'm not saying all of them are monsters. Not all of them. Some of them are nice. I've had taxi drivers that are my friends, and they're okay. They're good. So I'm not saying all of them are dogs. No. Some of them are not nice, it's just your luck to get someone that is matured, like it doesn't have, like, any other guy can easily turn up on you, and then things can go south. So again, I'm not promoting y'all to date them. I'm not saying don't. You know what you want in life, you know what you want at that time. I won't say anything. You have to decide for yourself, like how I decided for myself. So yeah, that's my story, guys, about dating a taxi driver. I say taxi driver. I say taxi driver because he was a taxi driver. Nah, but I have no issues with taxi drivers. I just don't want to date them. Nah. Nah. Nah, nah, nah. Nah, nah, nah. I will never. I'm sure you're asking the question as to have I seen him again? No. I haven't seen him ever since, which is good. So yeah. I think maybe he got back with his baby mama. I mean, that would have been the wisest decision. I mean, they have kids together. He's a family man, so why not just go back to your baby mama and get married already? So yeah, that's it, guys. So that was my story. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you loved it. Thank you so much for tuning in, and please like and comment, and most importantly, please subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Thank you so much for watching. It's been nice, it's been great. Cheers. It's your girl Zoe out. Bye, guys.